Hey everyone, and welcome back to Zero Escape 999. Last time we began our search of Zero's laboratory, or Zero's study, as we were searching for the key card to get out of this room and the Neptune key in order to unlock the door to head further into the ship. Hopefully to catch up with Santa, June, Ace, and Lotus. Last time we picked up 3 of these emblems, the helm, code, and cross emblem. The cross emblem in particular gave me trouble since I was able to figure out which switches needed to be on, but I'm not good enough to know the particular strategies for getting particular lights on and off in that type of puzzle. So, when we finished off last time, it seems that the coffin may have unlocked. So then, let's open up the coffin of all ice, Alice. Alright, fine, I'll open it. Okay, Junpei, you can do this. It's just a box. It's just a box. Oh, holy shit, this is a coffin. There's gonna be something horrible in there. I just know it. Okay, deep breaths. Here we go. Oh man, there's nobody in there. Oh shit, I can't believe I was scared of something like that. I mean, to be fair, Seven, everything lined up for it to be Alice. What do you mean nobody? Were you expecting someone to be in there? It's a long story. Just ask Junpei about it sometime. Huh? Well, just like Seven said, there's nobody in there. There is something in there, though. Well, 2 somethings, actually. What is that? Well, let's take a look. We got 2 things on the bottom of the coffin. Looks like we've got a plate with an emblem on it, and the Neptune key! Yes, we finally found it! Now we can get through the hallway! That's correct, Clover, but we do need to get out of this room first, you know? Yeah, I know. Okay, let's get the hell out of here as quickly as possible. I don't have any objections to that. I don't think we'll use the Neptune key in this room. It's really important though, so I'll keep it in my pocket for now. As far as this other thing goes, we got the coffin emblem. Alright, that's 4. While we were exploring earlier, we did see one screen where we could use 4 emblems. I believe, was it back here? No. Was it this? It was this, the CRT monitors. Alright, I put the emblems into the 4 indentations on the desk, but... Huh? Nothing's happening. Wait, what's Snake doing? I feel symbols engraved just above each indentation. On the upper left is the steering wheel symbol. On the upper right, the cross symbol. On the bottom left, the mysterious circle symbol. And lastly, the waffle pattern is engraved near the bottom right indentation. Additionally, each symbol seems to have been given a number. 1 steering wheel, 2 cross, 3 mysterious circle, and 4 waffle patterns. Right, since he can't see it, he's just describing what he feels. Waffle would be coffin. Mysterious wheel, I think, would be... Did he say steer... Alright. Perhaps we need to insert the emblems in this order. That order, huh? Alright, so what did you say? Oh, mysterious wheel would be code. Did he say helm first? Let's just drop the emblem of the steering wheel in here. And whoa! Well, now we've got something on the monitors, at least. What's that? Looks like some kind of puzzle. I wonder if these are the rules. Here, I'll read them to you. When you touch a numbered area, the area will be selected and it will turn blue to indicate this. Touching a numbered ball after selecting an area will cause that ball to be moved to that area. However, you cannot move the red balls. You can only move 3 to 5 balls in a single area. Press the check button once you have moved all the balls except for the red ones, which you cannot move. The digital root of the balls in an area must match the number for that area. That's it. I still don't really get it. Whatever, like they say, practice makes prefects. Let's give it a shot. Don't you mean practice makes perfect? Hey, let's see you solve the next one, then you can make fun of me. I'm so worried about Junpei. So, if you didn't pick up on that, it's a simulation of the Nonary game. It's a simulation of the doors. So let's see, let's do 6, 8, and 1, so that's a total of 6. Then 5 can go into the other door, and it will definitely hit 9. Or it'll hit a digital root of 3 for a total digital root of 9 across both. Okay, this is it, right? But nothing's happening. There are still 3 more indentations left empty. I imagine something will happen when they are all filled. Doesn't that seem likely? Okay, so next was the cross emblem. Okay, let's put in the emblem of the cross. Hey, Junpei, something just showed up on the screen. This puzzle sure looks a lot like the last one. Yeah, but there's more of those red balls you can't move. The numbers for each area are different, too. Looks like it's got the same rules as the last one, though. You sure you don't want to double check that? No, I'll be fine. If I get confused, I can just look at the screen over there, right? Anyway, like they say, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Let's give it a shot. Isn't that a picture's worth 1,000 words? Hey, shut it! At least I'm trying, alright? Junpei, is your brain okay? Again, you hit it really hard when you woke up in the third-class cabin. I'm starting to think that maybe you've got a concussion or something. Okay, we can't use 9 or 1, so digital root would be 8 across all of them, and the doors are 1 and 7, digital root 8. Good, okay. So first off, 7, and then make 9. Make 9 would be 6 and 3, or yeah, 6 or 3. 6 and 3. What am I doing? That's the 1 door. 7, 6, and 3. There we go. Now the rest of them should be able to match up because the digital roots will match no matter what. That's awesome, Junpei. There are only 2 left now. You can do it. Alright, next would have been the code emblem. Okay, let's put in the emblem of the secret code. Damn, this puzzle looks a lot like the last one. Looks like the rules are the same, though. Don't you think you should double check it? Come on, this is the 3rd time I've done this. Oh, it'll be fine. So this, if you can't think of anything clever, please don't strain yourself. You might hurt something. Shut up. Just give me a break, alright? I'll think of something. Oh, you're doing it on purpose, Junpei. You're saying things wrong on purpose. Can't move 1, 3, or 9. They've removed the 9th man, Ace, and Santa. Okay, so 9 minus 4 would be 5. 7 and 7 is 14 is 5. Okay, good. So 7, 5 and 4, 8, 6, and 2. There we go. 7 plus a 9, and then the rest have to add up right because the digital roots all work out very nicely. Excellent work, Junpei. You've only got 1 left. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Ha. You're funny, Snake. We are deep underneath this ship in the middle of the ocean. What light? Let's see what happens when I put the emblem of a coffin into this indentation. This is the 4th one. This puzzle looks a lot like that last couple. I think this is probably the last one. Once we solve this puzzle, I'm sure something will happen. Alright, I'll solve it in no time. Okay, 8 and 9. We can't use Ace, Santa, June, or the 9th man. Okay, the digital roots have to add up. It would not make sense otherwise. So we've got 8 and 9. 17 is 8. So yeah, that should all line up. 8, 5 and 4. Ho! Clever, clever. I see what you did there. Almost got me. Almost got me. We don't have enough to put at least 3 in both. But you can put up to 5 in a single. So what's 8 plus 9? It's gonna be 8 again. Huh? Where did that noise come from? Underneath the keyboard? Way to go, Junpei! You answered all the questions! Damn, Junpei, good job! Hey, did you hear something just now? Yes, I heard that as well. From the bottom left corner of the desk, I believe. Alright, let's check it out. A picture? In the drawer was a single picture. He picked it up. It was a photograph of 4 men. Involuntarily, Junpei's eyebrows shot up. We recognize all of them. He'd seen 3 of them before. On the right was a man with a mustache, the same man they'd found murdered in the captain's quarters. He'd been wearing the 0 bracelet, or possibly the O bracelet, when they found him. Second from the left was a man wearing glasses and a doctor's coat. He was the ninth man, the one who'd worn the bracelet number 9. He had gone into door 5 alone and met an unpleasant end. Finally, the man on the very left, the man in the pinstripe suit. Oh man, that's Ace.
Yeah, I guess it is.
No doubt about it. Seven and Clover had come to peer over Junpei's shoulders. But what did it mean? What was Ace doing in the picture? Perhaps more importantly, why were the ninth man and Cap in it as well? As Junpei looked closer, he noticed the expression on each man's face. Their smiles suggested they were close, at least to some degree. But why? How? What was the relationship between these 4 men? Snake's voice broke into Junpei's thoughts. You say Ace is in that picture? Yeah, it doesn't look like it was taken recently though. Ace, the ninth man, and Cap all look about 10 years younger. Ah, so the ninth man and the man you found murdered in the captain's quarters are also on the picture. Yeah. Is there anyone else? Or are there only 3 people in the picture? I'm afraid I can't see it. No, there's one more guy. He's got kinda long hair, he looks smart but a little cold. He's the only one I don't recognize. Snake knit his eyebrows. What's the date of the photograph? It doesn't have one. Did you look on the back? The back? Yes, the reverse, the other side. Junpei, please, I am very concerned about you. Everyone is concerned about you. Junpei flipped the picture over. There it was. To be precise, it wasn't a date, but it was clearly significant. He read it out loud so that Snake would not be left in the dark. Praying for the success of the Nonary project, with Nijisaki, Kubota, and Musashido. Nonary project, Nijisaki, Kubota, Musashido. Junpei immediately flipped the picture back over. That meant that the 4 men in the picture had run the Nonary game 9 years ago. Only Hongo had not been mentioned on the back, which Junpei felt meant he had written those words himself. But what surprised Junpei was not this revelation, but the fact that it felt nothing like a revelation. It felt obvious. That their true identities did not come as a surprise was what Junpei found most surprising. Why then? Why wasn't he surprised? Junpei had just discovered that Ace had run the Nonary project, but he felt no spark of excitement or surprise? Nothing! It was almost as if he had already known. Huh, of course, I understand now. Junpei looked over at Snake. In his own confusion, he had missed the dark look on the other man's face. Ace was the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical. He was the one who invented the game 9 years ago. He was Gentaro Hongo. Ace's Hongo? Even as he asked, Junpei felt as though he'd already known. It was as if someone had whispered into his head that yes, of course Ace was Hongo. I had my suspicions from the beginning. Their voices were familiar, too familiar to be a coincidence. I could never forget his voice. It was the voice of the devil. I couldn't be sure, though. After all, I had no way to check. I certainly couldn't ask him. Even if I had known, however, I would never have told you. Zero made it quite clear what would happen if I did. Oh my gosh, I had no idea. Huh? I didn't know that Ace was Hongo. Oh, yes, I suppose you wouldn't have. 9 years ago, you were in Building Q in Nevada. But Hongo was in the Gigantic with us. I know. That's why I didn't know that what Hongo looked like. But why? Why didn't you tell me? I mean, I'm your sister, right? You could have told me. I'm sorry. I apologize for keeping this from you. But if I told you, Clover, you would have told everyone else. And if you did, then I would have been forced to tell them about what happened 9 years ago. I had to prevent that. Clover and Snake's conversation wasn't of particular interest to Junpei. He still couldn't make sense of his strange feelings of knowledge. He was trying to organize his thoughts when he heard Seven's voice.
Hey Junpei, you think I could borrow that picture for a sec?
He had no reason to say no, so Junpei handed the picture over. Seven stared at the picture and began to mutter the 4 names of the project's leaders over and over to himself.
Hongo, Kubota, Nijisaki, Musashido.
His brow was furrowed and his face was flushed.
Hongo, Kubota, Nijisaki, Musashido.
He chanted their names to himself, pacing back and forth across the floor.
Hongo, Kubota, Nijisaki, Musashido.
Seven shouldn't have known their names. After all, he hadn't been there when Junpei and Snake had spoken of them in the library. But as Junpei watched him pace, it was clear that he did know them. Hey Seven, do you...
Shut it! Just be quiet.
His eyes were red, and Junpei could see sweat beginning to bead on his forehead.
I'm this close to remembering. This close.
He was sweating heavily now, but his lips were dry.
Hongo, Kubota, Nijisaki, Musashito, Cradle Pharmaceutical, Nonary Project.
Then he stopped. Seven set down the picture and looked at the red light near his feet. His eyes narrowed. Then suddenly, his eyes went wide and he shot straight up.
Shit.
What? What's wrong?
Holy shit. This is nuts.
What's nuts?
I remember.
Remember what?
Everything.
Everything?
Yeah, I remember all of it. My memory's back. I remember what happened before I got snatched.
Oh. Good. Good. Seven's voice was filled with excitement. Shock and excitement had frozen Junpei in place along with Snake and Clover.
Let me tell you what happened.
Seven hastily drew a shaking hand across his mouth and began to speak.
Like Snake said, Ace is Hongo. From the right, the other three are Musashito, Nijisaki, and Kubota.
Musashito, Cap, punished in the captain's quarters for his funding of the Nonary game. Nijisaki, you might recognize him, but not be sure how. We'll go over that in a little bit. And Kubota, the ninth man. Implicitly, brought onto the ship to be punished, but Ace ended up killing him 4-0.
Musashito was the man with the cash. Nijisaki was Hongo's right-hand man, and Kubota developed the actual technical details of the experiments.
Realization began to dawn on Junpei along with a pressing question. How do you know all this?
Come on, man. I told you. I finally got my memory back.
No, that's not what I mean. I'm trying to ask you why you knew all this stuff in the first place before you forgot it. Seven rubbed the scar on his chin.
You really want to know?
Of course! Me too! Snake was the only one who didn't voice any sort of agreement. It looked to Junpei as if he was simply waiting to see where Seven's sudden recovery might take them.
This is gonna take a while. Hell, it'll probably take me a good 3 days to tell you everything.
Well, we don't have 3 days! Just give us a short version, alright?
Short version, huh?
The big man pulled off his hat and scratched his head. He made a face and put his hat back on.
Alright, fine. I'll give it a shot. No promises, though.
Junpei and Clover nodded earnestly. Seven was a lone wolf detective who valued his own code over the rules, doing what was right over doing what you were told. That was why, on that fateful day, he'd gone with his gut, and gone to the wharf at night on a slim lead. It was 9 years ago. The wharf had been dark and cold and foreboding. At the time, he'd been investigating a spate of kidnappings, all of them children. They had all one thing in common: a history of visits to one particular hospital. The hospital had been under the management of Cradle Pharmaceutical, and Seven's investigation had turned up evidence that Cradle had been involved in the kidnappings. After a little persuasion, he'd managed to finally get a real lead from someone inside Cradle Pharmaceutical. They'd told him that night, a ship was set to take the children from where they were being held to a large passenger liner docked offshore. Seven had, of course, gone to the wharf. Hidden in the shadows, he'd searched the harbor until at last he found the ship he was looking for. There were a number of human shapes moving near the ship. They were men in black suits. Many of them were carrying large bags. The bags, there was something about the way they moved as they were carried. There could be no mistake. There were human beings in those bags. He had moved before he even realized what he was going to. Out of the shadows he came, his gun already in his hand. He heard the words, "Don't move," but they weren't his. He felt metal touch the back of his head. "Drop your gun," came the cold voice from behind him. "I could kill you right now. It would mean nothing at all. I need only tie an anchor to your feet, and I doubt anyone would see you for perhaps a week or so. Is that what you like? The fish here would be thankful for the meal." With the words, he felt the cold metal thing behind him pressing against his skull. Slowly, Seven crouched down and laid his gun on the ground. Then suddenly, he felt a sharp pain in his neck. A needle. Was it some sort of drug? As he was thinking about that, Seven felt his face hit the cold concrete beneath him. He could feel the chill of it seeping into him.
Ah, damn it! Shit, my head hurts.
Seven woke to find himself lying on a hard floor. He twisted his neck to peer around the room.
Where am I?
There was a small, shabby bed and a dirty sink. A toilet with no stall or privacy of any sort. As a cop, it was a place Seven had seen all too often.
I'm in a cell, huh?
Opposite the toilet was a door set into the wall. Seven struggled to his feet and hobbled toward it. He gave the door a good shove, then another, then tried pulling it. It didn't open. Well, that was about what he'd expected. It wasn't likely that someone would put him in a cell only to leave it unlocked. He threw himself against the door a few times, but to no avail.
I knew it.
Seven grumbled to himself as he moved back toward the bed. He sat down. He sat there for a very long time, just how long he wasn't sure. At last he began to nod off and had nearly fallen asleep when he was roused by a distant voice. It's 9! The voice was far away, very far away. Seven couldn't understand what it was saying. Nonetheless, it was a voice, and a high one, most likely a child. His eyes shot open. Here, K-ing. As he listened, he could pick out several different, distinct voices. There were at least 5 or 6, possibly more. Where were the voices coming from? He looked around the room frantically. Perhaps the door? No, that wasn't it. What? Go, ow! Was it coming from the left? Was it coming from under the bed? He grabbed the bed and flipped it up with ease. There it was. There was a hole for ventilation in the wall where the bed had been, covered with a metal grate. Seven lay down on his stomach and peered through the grate. He couldn't see anything, it was too dark. Now that he'd found it, however, there could be no doubt. This was the source of the voices. For a moment he was confused. Why were there children nearby? Then he remembered what the man from Cradle Pharmaceutical had told him. How a ship would take the kidnapped children from the wharf to a waiting passenger liner out in the ocean. Was Seven on that passenger liner? It didn't matter. What mattered was that he find a way to the children. Seven looked at the metal grate. Could he fit through that hole? He stuck his fingers through the grate and grabbed hold of it.
Yeah, how'd you like that, you son of a bitch?
The dark square sat open before him. Seven wiped the sweat from his forehead and crawled inside. The first section of the duct was small. Seven could do little more than wriggle along on his belly. After a time, however, it got a little larger, and even someone as large as Seven was able to crawl along on his hands and knees. He felt like he'd grown from an inchworm to an insect. Not much of an improvement, but it was better than nothing. He began to wonder where that duct would take him when... There was a thunderous sound like a massive metal door slamming shut. Then he heard a voice. Warning! Warning! Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 18 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately. Repeat. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. The voice wasn't harsh, but something about the calm with which it spoke made it even more terrifying. Seven wasn't sure what it meant, but incinerator certainly didn't sound good. Then, almost as if to confirm his suspicions, he heard a chorus of young voices. No! Help me! Many of the voices were simply screaming in terror, mixing with one another to create a single horrifying howl. Damn it! What the hell is...
Damn it, what the hell is going on here?
Seven began to crawl along the duct as fast as his arms and legs would carry him. The noise he made was tremendous, but he was long past caring. A few moments later, a metal door appeared on the left side of the duct. Seven could hear the screams of the children from the other side of it. This was it. He grabbed hold of the handle and threw the door open. The old metal gave way easily before his onslaught.
What the hell is this place?
The room he was looking out into had a dome for a ceiling and 9 equally sized walls. At the top of the dome was an upside-down funnel. It looked almost like a chimney. Then he looked down. There they were. You might recognize all 4 of these children. Maybe not because you've seen them, but maybe they look similar. Similar enough. The children he had been looking for. They stared up at Seven, their cries silenced for the moment by surprise and fear. Whether they were scared of the room or him, Seven couldn't tell. It was certainly possible that they were frightened of both.
Not that I could blame them running into a mug like this when they were already scared shitless.
He permitted himself a short snort of a laugh, then turned to the children again.
Don't worry, kids. I'm not your enemy. I'm one of the good guys.
Not a single one of them moved. Except for one. He was a boy, slightly older than the others, in a private school uniform. Who the hell are you? As he spoke, he took a tentative step forward and gave Seven a suspicious look.
I'm a detective. I'm here to rescue you.
The moment the words were out of his mouth, he could see the children relax. How are you gonna help? Sorry. How are you gonna help us? The boy in the uniform asked.
Where's the exit?
Seven responded. There isn't one. The doors we came in through won't open, and the door over there... He cut himself off, considering something, then continued. Anyway, there's no point. We can't all get out of here. Get out of here. If we don't get out of here, we're gonna be burned to death.
Burned to death?
Can't you hear it? That voice of the incinerator is gonna start up soon. Fuck, I hate it. Oh my god, I hate it when bad things happen to children, and this is fucking horrifying. The voice spoke again. Automatic incineration will take place in 15 minutes. 15 minutes. They only had 15 minutes. Seven looked back down at the children. It was a good 20 or 30 feet to the floor. There was no way he could pull the children up. That was when he had an idea.
Wait right there. I'm gonna be right back.
What? Where is he going? Are you just gonna leave us here? Seven did his best to smile what he felt was a reassuring smile.
Don't worry, alright? I'll be back. I promise. So just stay calm and wait right there. Got it?
He didn't wait to hear them respond. There wasn't time. He ran as fast as a man could run on his hands and knees. Before long, he was back in his cell. He was back where he had started, but he had a plan. There was something there that he needed. As soon as he was finished, he dove back into the duct and took off toward the incinerator.
Sorry to keep you waiting, guys.
Leaning out of the door in the duct, Seven lowered the rope he'd brought to the floor of the incinerator. Back in the cell, he'd torn the bed sheets into strips and tied them together to make a rope. Like Seven himself, it wasn't very attractive, but it got the job done.
Alright, just tie that around yourself, okay? I'll pull you up one at a time.
Right!
Huh? Wait a second.
That was when he noticed.
There were more of you before. Where'd the rest of you go?
The boy in the uniform answered. I let them go on ahead. We opened the number 9 door and they left.
What? You're telling me you opened that door?
That's what I said.
Then what the hell are you doing here?
We couldn't go with them.
Why not?
Look, the only people who can go through the numbered door... Automatic incineration will take place in 5 minutes. The voice reverberated against the walls of the room.
Look, that can wait, alright? Just get us...
Look, that can wait, alright? Just get us out of here.
Right.
Seven grabbed a hold of the rope. First up was a girl with a ponytail. Next was the girl with a red necktie, followed by a boy in a jacket who said he'd climb up on his own. The last up was a boy in the uniform. Like the boy in the jacket, he climbed up the rope himself. He looked scrawny from above, but his looks belied impressive strength. He scaled the rope quickly, but as he was almost to Seven, they heard the sound of someone knocking. All eyes turned to the door. Cut into it was a thick, square window. On the other side, they could see a furious face.
God damn it, what's going on here? Then why is the room empty? Where the hell are those fucking kids?
The door opened and a man stepped in, looking half mad with fury. Seven recognized his face. He'd seen him many times in photos during his investigation. The man's name was Gentaro Hongo, the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical. Hongo saw the boy hanging from the rope.
Gah!
He roared like an animal and lunged for the rope.
Hurry!
I know! The boy in the uniform resumed his scramble up the rope.
You son of a bitch! Get back here, you little shit!
He was 15 feet away, 10. The moment he came within arm's reach, Seven grabbed the boy in the uniform. With a jerk, he tossed him into the duct behind him. Gah! No! Hongo had lost any semblance of control. His face no longer looked human. It was twisted into something terrifying, the visage of a devil or a ferocious monster. Seven quickly reeled in his rope, leaving a furious Hongo on the floor of the room, and crawled back into the duct. You fucking bastard! You won't get away with this! How dare you compromise this experiment? What experiment? Seven wondered. Automatic incineration will take place in 1 minute. Hey old man, what the hell are you doing? Hurry up! It was the boy in the uniform. Seven tossed Hongo a taunting salute and pulled the door closed. There was no point to going back to Seven's cell, so they continued down the duct in the other direction. After 30 feet or so, another duct met theirs heading down. They nodded at one another, then turned and slid down the duct. A short time later, they crawled out of the duct to find themselves in a narrow hallway. There was a door on each side of it. The one on the left was a normal double door. But the one on the right was a familiar, thick metal door with black and yellow stripes and a device next to it on the wall. On the door was a plate that read Incinerator. That's
where we were?
Yeah, Hongo might still be there. It looks like it's been shut off though.
Wait, what? If he's still in there?
Yeah, that's not good.
Ugh. Seven grunted. Fine, the other door. Go into the other door. Hurry.
The children began to run, with Seven following close behind them. On the other side of the door was a large spiral staircase.
Run!
Seven shouted. They didn't need to be told twice. Up and up and up they went. Their feet pounded against the steps, their arms churned the air. Round and round and round they went like a human tornado. The stairway kept going. They'd passed a couple rooms that looked to be dance halls when the boy in the uniform spoke. Something's up. Akane's not catching up to us. Akane? My kid sister, the girl with the red necktie. Akane? That was strange. Seven didn't remember seeing that name in the list of children who'd gone missing. Hey, Akane! He cupped his hands around his mouth and yelled. There was no response. Maybe we outran her.
Maybe we outran her.
Suddenly, the boy in the uniform stopped short. Seven stopped too, as did the boy in the jacket and the ponytailed girl. When did we do that?
Well, we passed a couple...
It is so hard to keep track of who's saying what.
When did we do that?
Well, we passed a couple big rooms on the way here. Maybe she took a rest on one of them. Oh my god. Ah! This is Santa. No, that's impossible. Sorry, Grandpa, you keep going. I gotta go look for her downstairs. He turned to go.
Hey, kid, wait! God damn it, I said wait!
The boy didn't even seem to hear him.
Fuck.
Seven spun around and yelled to the boy in the jacket and the girl with the ponytail.
I'm going after him. You two keep going, alright? You got it?
The girl nodded and began to run up the stairs. The boy, however... I'm going with you. Seven didn't have time to argue. Instead, he simply nodded and took off down the stairs. It is worth pointing out, the girl with the ponytail is one of Lotus's children. The boy in the jacket followed. They ran all the way to the bottom floor, calling for her. Akane was nowhere to be found.
God damn it, where the hell did she go?
Sorry? Again! Really, please! God damn it, where the hell did she go? The boy in the uniform couldn't hide his frustration. Help me! Somebody help me! It was the girl's voice. Akane! The boy in the uniform threw open the door and leapt into the hallway that faced the incinerator. Seven and the boy in the jacket followed. Seven couldn't believe what he saw. Hongo had grabbed Akane by the arm and was doing his utmost to force her into the incinerator. Come on, goddammit, move! No, I don't want to! Let me go! Please, let go of me! She had planted her feet squarely on the floor and was doing her best to get away, but Hongo was much larger than she was. She wasn't going to win. Akane! The boy in the uniform shouted. He roared with anger and charged toward Hongo. You came back! Ha! You're too late, idiot! Hongo lifted Akane bodily from her feet and threw her struggling into the incinerator. Ah! Before Seven or the boy in the uniform could react, Hongo leapt through the door after her. They saw him land inside. And then the door slammed shut with the finality of a great steel guillotine. The three of them ran to the door. They pulled and strained, trying desperately to get it open. Fuck! It's no use. The goddamn thing won't move an inch. The boy in the uniform cried out and began to slam his fist against the door. He hit it with such force, Seven feared his knuckles would shatter from the impact. Akane! Akane! Are you okay? Help me! Her voice was muffled by the door, but the sheer terror in it was unmistakable. What should I do? I think I'm trapped in here. Where's Hongo? He went out the other door. What? Warning. Warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 18 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately. Repeat. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Are you fucking kidding me? Seven was at a loss.
It's the same damn thing.
Are you there? Akane's voice sounded close to tears. Yeah, we're here. Just hang on, all right? We're gonna figure out a way to save you. If she could have seen the bloodless face of the boy in the uniform, his words would have seemed like little more than a sick joke. Automatic incineration will take place in 17 minutes. Please, please help me. I'm really, really scared. I don't want to die. Please, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. It's gonna be all right. I'll figure something out. I promise. I promise, okay? You hear me? I promise. They could hear her muffled sobs from the other side of the door. The boy in the uniform tightened his fists. His knuckles were a bloodless white. Seven could tell that he was holding back tears of his own. God damn it. Fuck. It was silent. All they could hear was the creaking of the boat as it shifted in the water. They waited and waited, but Seven didn't continue. Oh, what happened then? Junpei couldn't wait any longer. He had to know. Seven looked at the floor.
Come on, man. Put yourself in my shoes. It doesn't end good. You think I want to remember that?
Then...
Yeah. Shit, if I'd known it was going to be like this. I almost wish I hadn't remembered.
Seven shook his head, but there was something Junpei had to know. Hey, are you sure?
Huh?
Look, I don't want to ask this either, but there's something I don't get. So if you could just tell me, did that girl Akane really... Seven stared straight ahead at nothing.
Yeah, I'm sure. There wasn't anything we could do. After a while, the countdown ended. And we heard something burning.
Even after the fire stopped, they couldn't move. Seven and the boy in the jacket simply stood where they were, frozen. The boy in the uniform collapsed, falling to the floor in a jumble of limbs like a puppet whose strings had been cut. A few more minutes passed. The door opened. The boy in the uniform ran in, stumbling over his own feet. Seven and the boy in the jacket followed, still too numb to speak. The air in the incinerator was hot. Every breath made Seven's lungs feel like they were on fire. The air shimmered with heat. And in the middle of the room, beneath the waves of heat, there it lay. The boy in the uniform walked toward it, his legs shaking violently. Seven couldn't see his face, but his body looked somehow empty. Finally, he reached it. The boy collapsed to his knees, his legs no longer able to support him. I'm trying so hard not to make disgusting, sniffling, sobbing noises into the microphone, but I'm sorry. Fuck. God. Junpei felt a cold lump form in the pit of his stomach. A feeling of sickening anticipation washed over him. He could feel his body shivering. He desperately did not want to know the answer he feared he knew already, but he had to ask. He had to know for sure. Can I ask you one more thing?
What?
The girl, Akane. What was her last name?
What does it matter to you?
Just tell me, okay? Please. Seven looked at Junpei curiously and ran his tongue quickly over his dry lips.
Kurashiki. Her name was Akane Kurashiki.
Something inside of Junpei stopped. He had no more words left. He had no more Junpei left. He was just a shell of flesh and bone. Seven turned to Snake.
You were there that day, weren't you? The tall kid in the jacket. That was you, wasn't it?
Yes, I was. You are correct, detective. Junpei's mind was blank, withdrawn from the world. Somewhere far away, he could hear Seven and Snake talking. Don't misunderstand me. I told you before how the Zero threatened me. There was nothing I could do. I couldn't say anything about what happened 9 years ago.
So you're saying you're not working for Zero, right?
Of course not.
Clover? What about you?
Hey, come on! You really think I'm working with Zero? I told you before, you idiot, I was in Nevada in Building Q. I did hear that a detective rescued the kids on the boat, but I didn't know it was you. Her surprise seemed to be genuine. Seven regarded Clover for a moment and rubbed his chin thoughtfully.
Well, I guess I believe you.
Clover nodded.
Alright, let me ask you another question.
He stuck his hands into his pockets and took a few steps. Then he stopped and turned to face him again.
Santa's real name is Aoi Kurashiki. He's Akane's brother. You know that?
No, I didn't. Did you? Well, yes, I know Aoi Kurashiki was her brother, but I didn't know he was Santa, at least not from the beginning. 9 years ago, he was in the middle of puberty. His voice is entirely different now. I'm ashamed to say that even my exceptional hearing wasn't able to make that connection. As such, I had no reason to think Santa was Aoi.
When did you figure it out?
A short time ago, Clover told me that Santa might have been one of the subjects of the initial experiment. When she told me that, I had a feeling. Santa is Aoi? Akane Kurashiki, June's brother. That spark caught flame in Junpei's leaden mind, and the fog began to clear. Like an engine beginning to turn, images and thoughts began to coalesce in his mind, coming faster and faster, forming bigger images, bigger thoughts. Junpei blinked. He was back. There's still a lot we don't know. I mean, like, a lot. But there's one thing I think we can say we know.
What's that?
The body we found in the shower room had to be Nijisaki, dressed up to look like Snake.
What?
Come on, man, what kind of a detective are you? You didn't figure that out already? In many of the flashbacks, when we saw the image of Ace throwing Guy X into door 3, it was not Snake's face, but Nichisaki's.
Hey, go easy on me, man. I just got my memory back, alright? Cut me some slack.
Yet, let's be fair, Seven is only just getting his memory back. Well, if he is, the 3 murders make sense then, don't they? Yeah, that's right, murder. Kubota blew himself up, but that was murder too. So why did these murders take place? If Junpei is correct and the body in the shower room was Nichisaki's, that means all of the people who were murdered were involved with the creation of the Nonary project. Kubota, the person who conducted the actual experiments, Nijisaki, Hongo's assistant, Musashido, the man who financed the project. You mean this was all just revenge? Santa is Zero. He's getting revenge for the death of his sister. No, I don't think Santa actually murdered anyone. In fact, Junpei didn't think, he knew. He couldn't explain why or how, but he had no doubt that Santa had killed no one. Perhaps the madness of the last several hours was finally driving him insane, but Junpei had ceased to be surprised at his sudden knowledge and had even begun to accept it. If I'm right, then it's not hard to figure out who the next victim's gonna be, is it? I'm pretty sure I don't have to tell you. Snake, Clover, and Seven all nodded. The next target will be Gentaro Hongo, the person who planned the Nonary project.
In other words, Ace.
There was a moment of silence. And then the room shook. 9 hours are up. From far away, they heard the sudden rush of water.
Whoa, what the hell's going on here?
It must be 6 a.m. Or our time is up.
Shit.
Come on, we need to get out of here. How? In the drawer that had held the picture was a key card. Junpei grabbed it. I'm betting this sucker opens the exit. Come on, let's go. Okay. Next time on Zero Escape 999. The finale. I'll see everyone next time for that. Alright, let's just swipe this card. Junpei, look! It's unlocked!
Yeah, now we can go back to the library.
Hurry up, Junpei, we don't have time. Let's go! Alright, let's go.